Good evening, everyone. My name is Abdullahi Ahmad, and I am a co-principal at Deering High School. I welcome you, students and families of the class of 2026, to Deering High School Open House. With me tonight, Dr. Gisman and a co-principal, Allison Day. Dr. Gisman.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Jake Giesman. I'm the new assistant principal at Deering High School. Prior to that, I was at Lyman Moore Middle School, so I'm sure that I know many of you. I'd like also now to introduce the other principal of Deering High School, Allison Dame.
Hi, everyone. Good evening, and thank you so much for coming. My name is Allison Dame, and as Dr. Giesman said, I am Deering's other co-principal. Okay, thanks so much. Welcome again, everyone. This is part one of our presentation tonight, in which we'll talk about our guiding philosophy at Deering, specifically about the 9th grade experience, our unique 4x4 schedule, learning opportunities outside the classroom, and finally, tonight, we'll have an opportunity. I will introduce at the end of the presentation our athletic director, Michael Daly, who will be able to talk to you about athletics and co-curriculars. But to kick things off tonight, we'd like to show a video that we think captures the feeling of being a Deering student.
What's changed my life the most is just that driving force. They want you to push yourself. Anything that you can do, if you have a driving force behind you, you can't be stopped.
This is your home. This is your family. It's about being together. Are you ready? Yes.
Connections that you get through all the different programs, that's what really connects you, and that's what really brings the community together.
Deering is the most diverse school north of Boston, and I think that's something that everyone in the school should be so proud of.
Being able to look at life through someone else's lenses, that's something going to Deering has definitely given me a one-up on that.
No one's ever really separated, and I feel like we can work together no matter what.
I remember freshman year, I didn't really know a lot of people, and nobody really knew me. When you walk in, everyone's gonna treat you like family. You're not gonna feel different, you're gonna feel close with everybody. It may be a little daunting because it's like, oh, high school, but take that with a grain of salt. These people will welcome you with open arms.
I feel welcomed every time I come through that door, and I know that I'm going to see people and have people to talk to. The students are really supportive, and the teachers are too.
It's very inclusive, and the teachers talk to you about things that you want to do and your aspirations for after high school.
It's such a happy place to be in. It's very eye-opening, and you make great friends.
Instead of suppressing your culture and your language, Deering High School really embraces it. There's so many opportunities, so many extended learning opportunities, so many sports, so many AP classes.
Deering has the most AP classes. There's this rigor component and this academic component of Deering. You can take these AP classes. It's going to prepare you for college. We have someone going to Columbia University, someone going to Yale University. Deering as a community has helped them get to where they are now.
I would be here for hours if I could name all of the things that are offered, and I'm only a sophomore, so it'll be continued.
Welcome back, everyone. So as I said, we'll begin tonight by talking about our guiding philosophy. At Deering, our guiding philosophy is that we succeed together when everyone is valued, challenged, and empowered. These are each crucial, and they are also interdependent. We know students will not stretch and take risks if they do not know that they are seen and that they matter in our community. So we make sure that every student is valued. We understand that students will not reach their potential if they are not exposed to challenging content and given opportunities to rise to those challenges. So we challenge every student. And we think that those challenges become relevant and fulfilling when students are given chances to lead in our school and the greater community. So we empower all students. We know those words can sound nice, but also feel vague. So I'll spend the next couple minutes explaining specifically what we mean when we talk about valued, challenged, and empowered. Part of how we value students is by designing a close-knit and supportive environment for our ninth graders. As we know, ninth grade is a crucial year. We help our ninth graders by creating a supportive space that is all their own, the ninth grade wing, which includes welcoming, text-rich classrooms and built-in support spaces when students need to use small groups for more support. Our ninth grade advisory is specific to that grade and builds community and teaches skills for succeeding in high school and making that transition from 8th to 9th grade. And to make sure no one falls through the cracks, our 9th grade teachers and advisors meet regularly to monitor progress and coordinate sports. Beyond the ninth grade, another way that we value students is by proactively creating a more inclusive school. Based on student feedback, we've begun the process of auditing our curriculum for representation and bias. As an example of how this impacts our actual programming, our early U.S. history class now includes an exploration of how Native American governing structures influenced the founding fathers. And we host a dual-credited USM African American history class each semester, which was specifically requested by our students. Similarly, we look to make sure that our clubs and activities are serving all students. Students have reported that participating in affinity groups like Black Student Union has helped them build leadership skills and find their voice. Likewise, our eSports team has won now 3 state championships, giving students who would not have otherwise participated in sports an opportunity to make our whole school proud. Finally, at the heart of Deering programming is our advisory. Advisory is a place where students stay with a small group of students and a dedicated advisor. It is a home within the larger Deering community. It's also a place where students are co-designing the curriculum. In the bottom picture here, you see Deering alum and Fulbright scholar Elwad Wera leading a group of current Deering students who are designing new advisory lessons that will feel meaningful and relevant to them. Moving on to challenged. At Deering, we are driven by the belief that all learners can achieve at high levels with the right supports. But we also recognize that the inverse is true. If students don't have access to grade level content, they will not have the opportunity to graduate prepared. So we take it seriously as our duty to make sure that all students are exposed to grade level content. In this vein, all 9th graders take AP Human Geography, which is an engaging and rigorous course that builds critical thinking skills and also builds confidence for all students as scholars. All Deering students take grade level math starting in 9th grade, either in our year-long Algebra 1 class or our Accelerated Math 1 class. Both of these courses use the illustrative math curriculum, which your child will be familiar with if they had a PPS if they came from a Portland Public Schools middle school. We like this curriculum because it's inquiry-based and student-centered and gets students up and thinking. Again, beyond the 9th grade, our commitment to challenging all students continues. We offer 16 AP courses, which is the most of any of the 3 Portland Public Schools high schools. And because of our 4x4 schedule, many students are able to take courses at local colleges such as USM and SMCC. This year, about 112 students are taking advantage of this opportunity. Our honors and AP courses are open to any student who wishes to challenge themselves. We are proud that the makeup of our AP classes mirrors the makeup of our student body. Now, I'll turn it over to our head of guidance, Libby Heselton, to discuss more of our unique 4x4 schedule.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for being here. I'm Libby Heselton, and I lead the guidance department. As you know, each of the 3 high schools uses a different schedule, so it's one of the important decision points that you're going to consider. At Deering, we use the 4x4 schedule, meaning that you have 4 classes in the fall and 4 different classes in the spring. Your classes meet every day in the same order for half of the year. The schedule doesn't alternate on AB days. Students like the schedule because the routine is easy to keep track of. It also gives you the opportunity to double up on subjects. You might need to double up by adding a stepping stone class for support, or you might want to double up and accelerate in a class that you love. The Deering schedule is good for subjects that you struggle with and for the subjects that you excel in. I love asking students about their favorite subjects and learning about their personalities so that we can build a schedule that fits their needs, goals, and future plans. The 4x4 schedule allows students to go beyond just the minimum requirements and on to all kinds of other interesting options. We have the most students taking college classes while still in high school of any school in Southern Maine. It's a great deal, and it's a great schedule.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Heselton. So finally tonight, I'll speak a little bit about what it means to us to empower all students. So firstly, it means that we redesigned our student government structure to encourage more participation. We did this by creating Senate groups at each grade level, and this means that 9th graders have a safe space to begin building leadership skills from the get-go. We also partner with outside organizations like CIEE and Seeds of Peace, and we support students who want to apply for these amazing programs. This past year, we sent more students to Seeds of Peace summer program than any other school in Greater Portland, where our students learned how to dialogue with peers from all different backgrounds. While we will not take full credit for this, we were so proud to see Deering senior Balkis Mohammed featured in a recent Press Herald article profiling the 2021 Mainers to be thankful for. Among many other accomplishments, Balkis started Deering's Muslim Student Association, an interfaith group working on social justice issues, and won a $10,000 grant through her mosque to help other young people build their leadership skills. Empowered also means having a wide range of opportunities that push and inspire students. To give just a few examples, here's our award-winning debate team at a pre-COVID meet. Zelda, a current junior, showing off an interactive giraffe he made in our makerspace. Students performing in a wintry scene on a student-built set. And finally, our current student body president, Junio, using the art room to make masks for other Deering students. Next up, I'd like to invite Sydney Williams to come on as a panelist. Sid is our Extended Learning Opportunity Coordinator, and she'll talk a bit about those opportunities.
Hello, everyone. As Ms. Dame says, I'm Sydney Williams. I'm the Extended Learning Coordinator here at Deering. I just wanted to speak briefly about our youth development programs that we offer. One of which is our Make It Happen program. It's a college readiness program for our multilingual population, predominantly upperclassmen. They do take a few freshmen and sophomore. And the staff there, Tim Cronin and Leah Dixon. Extended learning opportunities. So you'll hear a lot of ELOs, and that's what that means. So things like volunteering, job readiness, internships, STEM activities, adulting workshops, guest speakers, and senior capstones is what I'm in charge of. And then we have a wonderful mentoring program which matches seniors with underclassmen. And that program's run by Roy Chatterjee. All our youth development programs are student-led and student choice. We operate during school hours, and some of our programs operate after school hours. If you would like to know more about our programs or interested in connecting with myself or any other program staff, you can visit Deering's website and find us under youth development with our contact info. So thank you for your time and hope to see you soon.
Thanks so much, Ms. Williams. So finally, for this section, what's the result of creating a school where everyone is valued, challenged, and empowered? Of course, some of our students use paths to become skilled in a trade and graduate ready to be hired in their field. But we are also proud year after year of the range of exceptional colleges and universities our students are accepted into and attend. On this slide, you see just a few of the places Deering's class of 2021 matriculated into this fall. And now I will hand it over to our athletic director, Michael Daly, to introduce himself and discuss athletics and co-curriculars at Deering.
Thank you, Ms. Dame, and welcome everybody to Deering High School. I hope you have a wonderful experience tonight at the open house. I'm the co-curricular director here at Deering, which means I oversee clubs and activities and athletics. And we'll mention some of those activities and athletics. We'll share those with you. At the very end, tonight at 8 o'clock, we'll have a question and answer period where you could ask further questions about athletics and activities. Next slide. Thank you. So we have 42 clubs and activities, 26 varsity sports at Deering, and 36 total teams at all levels. Next slide, please. At Deering, we've been known for dominance in athletics and in activities in our clubs. Our Nordic ski team is one of the tops in the state. They were state champions. Our debate team, perennial champion in Maine in 2020, they were state champs and is having a great year again this year. Our golf team had a great year in 2020, and our new esports team, as Ms. Dame had mentioned, were state champions last year. And they're in the state championship tomorrow against Caribou at 4 o'clock. So we wish them luck. We also have strong programs in all of our athletic teams, girls and boys soccer, particularly strong. And then our drama club is fantastic. They had a great performance this fall of Little Women. Next slide. This is just a sampling of some of our clubs that students are involved in. Anime Webtoon was actually started last year per a student request. Again, as Ms. Dane mentioned, we will add activities and clubs to meet our students' needs and interests. We have the drama club, debate, clock tower. Our music program is fantastic with Dr. Giddings, natural helpers, outdoors club. Also have a really strong key club, as well as yearbook, sisterhood, Spanish conversation. So really anything that students are interested in and that they want to be actively involved in, we have here at Deering. And just so you know, over the pandemic, our clubs and activities have actually grown. We have had more students participating in clubs and activities than in previous years. So it's a really exciting time here at Deering. Next slide. And this is just some of our interscholastic sports offering, our athletic teams. The winter season that we're in right now is our busiest season. And the ones with the Portland Public Schools logo, those are co-op programs that we share and combine with Portland. Portland hosts hockey in the winter. We host the other sports as a co-op program. And those are just some of our offerings. Again, winter is our busiest season, and we have big basketball games against Bangor tomorrow for the girls and the boys. So we're looking forward to that, and a swim meet as well. Next slide. And I think that's all I can share with you tonight. I'm happy to meet with you at the end in their Q&A. I hope you have a wonderful night and happy to answer your questions at 8 o'clock. Ram Nation welcomes you tonight, and Think Purple. Thanks very much, Ms. Dane.
Thanks so much, Mr. Daly. So now to end this part of our presentation, we would like to hear from Deering. We'd like you to hear from Deering students. To get things started, here is a video from sophomore Allegra Bukoka.
My name is Allegra Bukoka, and I'm a sophomore here at Deering High School. In a moment, you are going to hear some freshmen talk about what they like about Deering. But first, I want to give you some perspective, having the benefit of being here an extra year. As a Deering student, you have many resources of support at all times. Our guidance counselors and social workers always welcome you with open arms, whether you have something going on at school, personally, or even just for a check-in. Not only are our guidance counselors welcoming, but our teachers and students are too. Always feel encouraged to talk to teachers about anything that's going on in class. We have 4 70-minute classes every day per semester. All the classes that you take are of your choice, but keep in mind some classes are required in order to graduate. But on the bright side, you get to be the one to pick them. Our schedule helps me personally when I'm feeling overwhelmed or just stressed in general. And now, time for our freshmen.
Hi, I'm Fak. The teachers at Deering are always there to support me when I need it, and they're always easy to reach. Personally, all my teachers are kind, supportive, and pretty cool in general. The teachers here always go out of their way to make sure we understand the material and aren't stressed about anything.
Hi, my name is Khalid Mohammed, and a couple things I like about lunch at Deering High School is that there is one lunch that is 15 minutes long, and one thing you could obviously do is eat, hang out with friends, do extra work for a teacher, play sports with your friends in the minimum period of 45 minutes. You could also go to the nearby stores and get food such as Quality and Cumbies.
Hi, I'm Maya. Learning Center is a class that Deering has in between 3rd and 4th block. I really like Learning Center because it's so versatile. You can use it to meet with your teachers or tutors if you have questions, finish your homework in school, or just work with your friends. You can also go to other places, such as the gym, library, or outside. Learning Center is a really nice break at the end of the day that you can use how you want to.
Hi, I'm Asa. I find that Deering sports benefit greatly from our open campus. If you're participating in a sport that involves running, you can go right outside the school and run on the neighborhood's nearby trails. The football and soccer teams practice right outside, right here. Also, we have Memorial Field and tennis courts nearby. Above all, since Deering is a neighborhood school, everyone feels safe and feel like they're part of the community.
Hi, my name is Ticino Cavallero, and one thing I like about Deering, it's a great school. It's very accepting. It helps me excel as a student, not only as a student, as an athlete, and it's just a great choice overall.
Hi, my name is Nita Sam. And I'm Miranda Sivo. Here at Deering, they offer the most amount of AP courses out of all Portland schools. It may be intimidating at first, but the teachers make the projects and assignments so fun, you never realize how fast you're learning things, and it just feels like a regular paced class.
For me personally, being in an AP course as a freshman, it was nerve-wracking and scary at first, but with the help of our amazing AP teachers like Ms. Brian and Ms. Noor, the nerves and stress went away, and now we're doing great in class.
Hi, I'm Maya Landry, and I'm part of the freshman class at Deering High School. I'm a 3-sport athlete. I was on the girls soccer team, and I'm currently in the indoor track team, and I will be participating in outdoor track in the spring. I'm grateful for the extended lunch period because I don't have a lot of time after school with all the sports to do activities such as student government and debate team, which we actually won the debate tournament last weekend, and that wouldn't have been possible if I hadn't had lunch time to practice.
My name's Allie. At Deering, we have 4 70-minute classes, which is just like a college schedule. With only 4 classes a semester, you have not as much homework and time to do it efficiently. After the first semester, you get new classes. Not all classes are changed, but you get new core classes and new electives. And that changes things up and gives you a fresh start. What I like about the schedule is that I love my classes and I have time to do my homework.
Finally, here's a video from Deering parents of an outstanding RAM senior, Emily Siegel. As you see on the slide, Emily Siegel made the paper when she organized a project to paint 4 crosswalks outside of Deering based on interests that our students picked. That was her capstone project.
Hi, I'm Amy Siegel.
Hi, I'm Scott Siegel, and we have a daughter, Emily, who's a senior at Deering High School.
We were asked to give some thoughts about how we felt Emily's experience at Deering has been over the last 4 years. Kind of been a crazy 4 years, but she's had a really great experience. And I guess the first topic would be about how she was challenged and the way Deering is structured with the 4 courses each semester. Kind of like a college structure, allowed her to really accelerate through certain classes that she was interested in, particularly math for her. There's lots of AP classes to choose from. She's taken quite a few and taught by really great teachers. And she's also had an opportunity to take 2 independent study classes that she initiated and worked through with teachers to kind of do her curriculum and have check-ins throughout. And one of the other things that she's been really working hard on is a STEM endorsement, and that's something that Daring really supports, working with Ms. Scheiwel. So she's been able to take enhanced learning opportunities. So that's kind of courses, extra courses and classes that are opportunities throughout the 4 years. Well, not quite all of them, but, and then opportunities outside of the classroom, which I think is pretty great. So it's kind of getting out beyond, just Daring. So the other opportunities include taking courses at Paths and USM and SMCC. Emily's taking a class at Paths this semester, which is a commercial art course, which has also been really great for her. And then to think a little bit about how she's felt valued or appreciated as a student at Daring. One thing I've been remarking about recently is her relationships that she has with her teachers, teachers that she's had multiple classes with, and how at this point now they have these great relationships where she'll stop in and talk to them, and they talk about a lot of things that are not necessarily school related. It's just sort of real life related, which is really great just to have those trusted relationships. And she's got a fantastic guidance counselor who actually knows her, Mr. Cherry, my favorite. And he's been awesome helping her pick the classes that she would take each semester in high school, figure out if she could take a Paths course or a USM course or what have you. And also now, as sort of we're dealing with the college application process, he's been super helpful and a great counselor to us as well. And also, interesting thing is the advisory program or advisory class that they have, and how her advisor and this sort of safe space, the small group settings, that they're actually able to talk about some tough topics like systemic racism and how it affects them all, or mental health issues and how they're coping with COVID and then coming back to school after COVID. So I think that she's had a lot of opportunities to really feel valued as a student there.
Yeah, and I was just going to share a little bit about how Daring has helped Emily being empowered. She's been able to be involved with student government in a couple of clubs, being involved with Key Club, which is a volunteer organization, and Natural Helpers, which discusses mental health awareness. And then also, as she was going through her capstone, which is a senior project that you're expected to do when you're a senior, as she was working on her sidewalk art project, right from the get-go when she brought up the idea of doing this, Dr. Ahmed, Ms. Dames, Ms. Serway, and Mr. Daly all jumped right on board and showed their support, and we're very excited to see Emily take this on. And I think that really helped kind of solidify that project going forward. And I was going to just share a couple things that I went to Daring many, many years ago. But the things that I think I appreciated as a student, and I can see it as a parent, is having the athletic fields be near the building. I think are super helpful. And it's definitely been helpful for Emily, that she's had easy access to the Metro bus, taking classes. And then also happens to be a very walkable school neighborhood for us because we live nearby. And then also just the building itself being very easy to navigate to get to the different classes. Even though it's a large building, it's set up in a very simple way. So we have a younger daughter who eventually will go to Daring. She's got many years before that happens, but we've really enjoyed our experience with Emily being at Daring. So.
Okay, thanks so much to the Seagulls. We did not want to keep you here all night, but we did get many more testimonials from other parents. So we wanted to pause for a moment and let you read what those other parents also had to say. So that concludes part 1 of our webinar. Next up in part 2, you'll have a chance to meet the school counselors and school social workers who would work with your student if they came to Deering, and to hear directly from our teachers about Deering classes.
So welcome to part 2. For this part of the presentation, you'll meet the school counselor and social worker who will be your support at Deering, and then be introduced to teachers in each subject. If you have any questions, you can write them in the chat, and at the end of the presentation, you can return to the main session for an optional question and answer session with the co-principals and the director of activities. Next slide. And we can go back. I am Tracy Moore, here with my colleague Asia Alexis. One of the two of us will be your school counselor when you're here at Deering. Bob Carroll, who's also here, will be your school social worker. As your school counselors, we're here to help you be successful in high school. Along the way, we will work with you to create a plan for life after you graduate. It's our goal to nurture and support students in having a healthy, balanced experience at Deering. We want to make sure that as students, you're challenged but not overwhelmed, and that you have the tools you need to succeed. And I'm going to pass this over to Bob Carroll, the social worker.
Thanks, Ms. Moore. This is Bob Carroll. I'm one of the social workers that starts at the beginning of the alphabet, and I work with Melissa McStay as well. The social workers do a lot of different things, but our main mission is to remove any barriers to your education. So that includes supporting your adjustment or the transition to high school. And we do reach outs over the summer, and we invite people in if that's something that they would like to do. Provide individual and group counseling to listen and support folks. Connecting to community resources for extra support. We have partners at Deering from Greater Portland Health and Health Affiliates Maine, and they work with students too for counseling, and that's right there at the school, which is really convenient. Helping with basic needs and community resources, and working through things that might come up during your high school experience. So thanks again for coming. We're moving along to English with Miss Donnelly.
Hi, everybody. We can go to the next slide. I think we're going to need one more. That's it. All right. My name is Megan Donnelly, and I'm a 9th grade English teacher here at Deering. One way that we value student voice in the English department is through the texts that we read. We create opportunities for independent choice reading at the 9th and 10th grade level. We teach students to see texts as Dr. Rudine Sims Bishop frames them, either as a mirror through which to explore their own identities, or a window to the experiences of others to build empathy. We're going to move on to Miss Romano.
Thanks, Megan. I'm Jamie Romano, and I currently teach 11th grade English at Deering. In addition to the choice reading that Megan highlighted, we challenge students with common class reads ranging from classics like The Great Gatsby to Hamlet, and contemporary nonfiction like The Hidden Brain and The Sum of Us. We engage students with topics like feminism, cultural appropriation, and self-discovery to help them discover who they want to be in the world. And they create products to demonstrate their learning, ranging from letters to the editor about topics they're passionate about, to leading book group discussions, and your typical essays and research assignments. Next slide, please, Kyle. We empower students to use their voice, and first we do that by helping them analyze rhetorical devices that professional writers use in speeches and narratives. For example, they used personal anecdotes and vivid imagery to capture and maintain a reader's attention in their own narratives, and they persuade audiences when they write research papers on their topics. We also offer electives like drama that Mr. Daly highlighted in the opening that can lead to the club experience where students perform plays. And we also have a creative writing class where students explore a variety of genres, poetry, science fiction, fractured fairy tales, which students really enjoy. Our current creative writing class will be going to the Portland Museum of Art tomorrow on a field trip where they will choose an artwork that will inspire their own ekphrastic poems. We also have a close working relationship with the Telling Room at Deering High School. You can see pictured at the bottom right, current 2021 Founders Prize is Leticia Hanna. She's a current senior. She was one of our creative writing students, and she won this Founders Prize for her recent piece in their publication, No Time for Rehearsing. If students are really interested in creative writing, they can join our literary magazine, Breccia, which was founded in 1874 and has been going ever since. Deering's Breccia is comprised of a group of student editors, and they publish student artwork and writing, and it has won the highest distinction from the National Council of Teachers of English. And if students are more interested in the art of argument, which many teenagers get excited about, students could hone their research and debating skills in our award-winning debate club that you can see pictured here. They are recognized every year at the at the local level, and many team members also qualify for national events and compete at the national level. So at Deering, in our English department, we really try to empower students both within and outside of the classroom to use their voices for ideas that they're passionate about sharing with others. We want to turn it now to the math department. And I think, Kyle, that means we'll move on to the next slide.
I'm going to interrupt for just a moment before the department to say all questions are welcome. You can ask a question by clicking on the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen. If you type one in there, we'll either type a response or answer it live. Thanks.
Welcome, everybody. My name is Rhonda Beck, and I am a math teacher at Deering High School. I'm also in the same boat that all of you are with an 8th grade son. So I can totally relate to this. At Deering High School, we're excited to be the only high school in Portland that has a seamless transition from 8th grade math to 9th grade math, because we use the same illustrative math program that the middle schools have been using. Whether a student enters a math curriculum in Algebra 1 or Accelerated Math 1, all students have a pathway to calculus if they choose to access it. Along with these classes, we provide target support to students as they transition to high school with longer classes and increased rigor so they can continue to challenge themselves academically. With our, I guess, Kyle, you can go to the slide 9 is the next one. Thank you. So with our 4x4 schedule, as you can see, students are able to access 2 math courses each year, which provides them the opportunity to explore additional elective courses sooner. In addition to AP Statistics and Calculus BC, we also offer dual enrollment courses. One of those is called Quantitative Reasoning, and it's an SMCC course. And the other one that we offer is Calculus A, and that's a USM course. And students would get college credit when they're attending those courses. Additional support is built into the day. In addition to classroom supports, all of the courses are taught on campus during the school day. The students don't have to go to SMCC or USM to take those courses, which is awesome. Course offerings meet a wide range of student interests and post-secondary plans. Slide 10, please. Thank you. In addition to the math courses that we offer, we have elective courses, technology courses that are part of the math department. We offer Photoshop, SketchUp, and Internet Tech for students who have any interest in technology. And for those students who excel at math and or technology, there's an opportunity to complete a STEM endorsement at Deering High School by taking a series of math, science, and technology courses. Next slide, please. I guess actually That was what I just talked about. We got one more slide, I guess, to go. Nope. There we go. There's the STEM that we were talking about. So the math and science department combined to offer courses to meet the technology and engineering requirement. The math department offers Intro to Java. Thank you. Somebody got my slides mixed up. And AP Computer Science, as you can see here, while the science department supports the engineering component. And you can see here, engineering by design. And I'm going to pass this on to Ian McLean, who's going to talk about science and continue talking about the STEM endorsement part of the in the science department. Thank you for attending.
Hey guys, and welcome to the science portion of the presentation. As Rhonda just mentioned, I'm Ian McLean. I get to teach biology at all levels at Deering, as well as marine ecology, and we're excited to have you here. Before we begin going through the science slides, I kind of want to point out that having been to some 8th grade open houses myself for my own kids, I've got to say I can appreciate the position you're in, but I find it even cooler that I have, I think, 4 colleagues at Deering who are doing this right now, as Rhonda mentioned. And you have choice, which is pretty cool. Most other schools do not. We definitely feel like you can get a great education at all 3 of the city's high schools. Occasionally we get to work with our colleagues from across town, and I genuinely feel like you're in great hands no matter where you wind up. So really my job is just to help you figure out how Deering may fit your needs, as we're the only school of the 3 that has a semester-based block schedule, as you've heard all night long, which is one of the factors that contributes to the fact that we have more students at taking USM and SMCC courses. Also, no, I would say that if you eventually find that you didn't find your fit the right way the first time around, students transfer. So don't go into this feeling pressured. You've got great choices ahead of you. Lastly, if you all could kind of pretend that there's this gentle but inspirational music building to a dramatic crescendo as I go through my 3 slides, that would be awesome. They denied my request to have our own soundtrack for the science department, but at any rate. All right, so by now you've probably had a chance to read this first slide, but I'd like to reiterate that we try to value you guys at whatever your level of science interest is by ensuring that each of our subjects is anchored in the practical phenomena that you encounter in your day-to-day life. The same is true in the fact that we offer many courses at different levels of rigor, from non-honors to honors classes, and then AP courses as well. We have heterogeneously grouped electives like marine ecology, engineering by design, and forensic science. And we're also really excited about our shift next year to offer environmental science as our freshman science course for the first time. Because kind of unless your future profession involves science, for most people, the way you interact with science after school is through issues that arise in your personal life, or as a result of needing to vote as informed citizens of the world we share. The interdisciplinary nature of environmental science to us provides both a great opportunity to have you preview a little bit about each of the sciences that are to come, as well as laying the foundation for looking at the natural world around us they'll be part of sooner than later as local and global citizens. I guess as you look here, you can see all the different course offerings. I just kind of had to cram it on this slide, but we're proud of all we can offer with a pretty small department of 8 people. So I can go for the next slide there, Kyle. As for challenge, with the semester block schedule and the wide range of course offerings you saw on the previous slide, the student can pursue enough science courses to demonstrate to a future college of interest that they've found a passion in STEM. The possible schedule you see to the right is by no means typical for many students and really represents the extreme end user who has chosen science as their primary focus in high school. For the student who wants to maximize earning college credit while you're in high school, which more and more students are doing as college costs soar, you can see how doubling up as a freshman opens the door to more AP and early college offerings in your junior and senior year. So if you wanted to, you could double up. Environmental science, you could take, we're all going to take that freshman year now. Then engineering by design is an elective you could plug in your second semester. We often have students in that kind of vein take biology and then double up with chemistry during their sophomore year. Once you've had chemistry, it opens up the door for AP Chem, AP Bio, or any of the other electives. Once you've had biology, you can have anatomy and physiology, marine ecology, etc. So For now, we're excited to have the environmental science move to freshman year. It has been an upper level course. We're looking in the future to add it as a dual enrollment class because AP is not the end all be all for all students. But either way, it's going to be another way to get some college credit. What else? Alternatively, I guess you could look at this to those of you who might be more passionate about the humanities. If you just look at the freshman year, environmental science, sophomore year, biology, 11th grade, you can take physics or chemistry. And then 12th grade, you could take any number of the high interest electives. We've got a path for you to kind of no matter what you want to do. Last slide, Kyle. So as you may have heard, I think only Casco Bay has gone so far. The STEM endorsement is available at all 3 high schools. The requirements are the same at all 3 high schools. It's just at Deering, we're kind of proud of the relationships we've built over the years that allow you to get some of those ELO hours because you need 50 hours of STEM learning beyond the classroom. So in addition to the 20 hours, many of those students will earn doing a STEM related capstone. You may earn the other 30 hours participating in STEM ELOs, kind of like the Maine Medical Center Research Institute. We've been with them since the beginning of them offering a winter science series. That's the photo to the lower right. The cool thing about MMCRI is they kind of take care of their own. And we've had students, a student who came there with me as a high schooler, got back there during college, has been accepted to Tufts Medical School, is currently working for them and looking to continue with them. So they're really good about taking care of that. The photo on the left is their STEM Goes Red program, which is targeted to get any student who may not have been thinking of themselves as a STEM student to come in and learn about various heart health things and stuff like that. Kyle, can you go to the next slide? We have Sea Perch, I think is back again this year. It's an underwater robotics course. Cyber Girls Challenge, I think this year is Girls Who Code. UNE Health Pipeline, we've got a great relationship with a professor at UNE who has assisted with our students who have done the Maine State Science Fair. She comes in and brings in equipment that we just cannot afford, even in my AP Bio class, and does things with students at all levels. We've had students attend the Jackson Lab open house for some of their hours. We've got some great ELO offerings during Learning Center. This is one right there that was a coffee cupping hosted by Mr. Davenport, who's currently running our slideshow here. That was pretty popular and pretty cool. And I think I have one more slide to go. Maine State Science Fair. We've only been in that for the past couple of years. And the young lady you see there with her mouth agape, because that was a Vimeo video you could watch. It's incredibly impressive, is Lynn Wynn. She did it 2 years and she actually won the entire thing last year and got some scholarships from it. Which was incredibly impressive because there are high schools where they have an entire semester-long course with long existing partnerships with universities up at UMO. And she did this in her basement, working on her own stuff and won, which is pretty incredible. We also had a student who won the Maine App Challenge, or was in the top 3 both years in a row, and the 2 of them happen to be at MIT right now. So we got a lot to offer. We would love to have you at Deering, and that's it for me.
Thank you, Mr. McLean. Hi, I'm Helen Bright. I am one of the 9th grade social studies teachers, and excuse me, just to double down on what Mr. McLean said, yeah, you really can't make a wrong choice, but we have a lot to be proud of at Deering, and we're hoping that you would like to join us here. So 9th graders, all 9th graders take an AP Human Geography course. Human Geography is about how you affect where you live and how where you live affects you. So it's very interactive. We study population and migration and geopolitics and culture and urban planning and rural land use, as well as take a look at industry, and we do a lot of simulations. We get to be really interactive, and because it's a year long, we get to really dig deep on things that most young people are observing in their world, and applying those academic terminology, being able to really go into the concepts is something that we really enjoy. Miss Noor is my other half for that, and we have a lot of fun with it and do a lot of great learning. And AP can seem somewhat intimidating as a ninth grader, but being in that space and through this year-long experience, you really get to push yourself and see what it's like and realize that that kind of deeper level thinking is pretty exciting and has a lot of potential. So if we could go to the next one, some of that potential is where you go in social sciences afterwards. So when you think of whether or not you want to take AP US history, or you would rather explore psychology, once you've gotten that foundational baseline in ninth grade, you can start thinking about what electives might appeal to you: comparative government, economics, human rights, street law, lots of good stuff in there, as well as the US and modern world global issues course, which all sophomores take, which is based off of a Model UN framework. And so that gives you lots of room in your 12th grade year to see what are the social sciences that you are most interested in and the opportunity to explore them. And if we could go to the next slide. Outside of classes, you can also use your voice and join in spaces that have direct impact on your school, like student government or Model UN, where you get to meet a lot of really amazing people all over Maine and take on the role of a country and represent those views, as well as Seeds of Peace, which I have the pleasure of being the advisor for, which gives you the opportunity to go in dialogue with other people in Maine and the United States as well during the summer and within Deering especially. So I am going to pass it along to world language.
Ms. Bright, would you mind answering the question in the Q&A first?
Sure, let's see.
Read it. It says, what if a student does not do well with the AP classes and they are at risk of failing because it is an AP class? How are students supported through this?
Yeah, great question. I think with the framework of having a year long, we have a few different scaffolds. We don't necessarily have to move at the speed of which an AP course usually dictates when it's within a semester. So that can help with that transition period. And also there's always exceeds options for students who want to kind of move at that pace. As well as Learning Center, we really spend that time making sure students are scaffolded. I know we had a fair amount of students at the beginning of this year who had some hesitations, some really real and honest hesitations. And I think if you ask them now, they would be like, no, like I'm understanding this, I'm getting this. Some folks do have to put in a little bit more of that Learning Center time. And Ms. Noor and I are really accommodating with before school, after school, and during lunch if people want to spend that time. But for the most part, I think the content itself is something that people will really have a taking to, as it is really observable in our global lens. So hopefully that helps. And people can always reach out. I'm happy to talk more about it.
Thank you, Ms. Bright. So I'll jump in. Hi, everyone. Hola, buenas noches. I'm Riva Eiferman, and I'm one of the Spanish teachers at Deering High School. We are excited to just talk a little bit about our program here. And like others, I think we're just really passionate about what we teach and excited to share that with you all. So hopefully we'll answer your questions. And I'm also here with one of my colleagues, Han, who is our Mandarin teacher who just joined this year. And maybe she could introduce herself and share a little bit about our offerings, what languages we offer, and then I'll go through the rest of the slides. Are you here, Han? Maybe I'll keep
Hello,
going.
everyone. Yes, I am Mai Han, a Mandarin Chinese teacher, and I have been teaching Chinese for 4 years. And this is my first year at Deering High School. I love teaching at Deering not only because of the facilities school provide for students, but also the students are cared for and learn very well in here. Teamwork, multiple culture, science, art, languages etc. And all subjects are offered in Deering. And I'm very happy to be here with my lovely coworker, teacher Reva. So in here, we offer students 4 languages. For a student can choose that is Spanish, French, Arabic, and Mandarin Chinese. So for Spanish, we offer the level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to AP and a Spanish native speaker. And it go offered to the same with French as well, from level 1 to AP and French native speaker, Arabic and Mandarin. So we should offer the level 1 and level 2 and native speaker. Okay, I pass that one for my lovely coworker, teacher Reva.
Thank you. Thanks, Han. So yeah, in addition to those 4 languages, we also offer students extra support with, you maybe heard about our Learning Center program, as well as the Deering Mentoring Program. We've been able to set up one-on-one mentors for students who might need a little extra help with their language learning. We also have Spanish Conversation Club and French Conversation Club. This is a really fun opportunity for students to just engage in sort of a more informal setting, practice their conversational skills. And my favorite thing about this club, I advised it last year, is that it's a chance for native speakers and learners to kind of hang out together and share in the language learning process, which is really fun. And our teachers love teaching the language and also the culture. So we incorporate cultural perspectives into each one of those language classes that you see on the screen there. And next slide, Kyle. So one way that we challenge our students, like you've heard before about the 4x4 schedule, what that means in the language program is that students can really advance quickly through our program. So even if a student starts in level 1 in 9th grade, they can take all the way up through our AP class by their junior year. And then still have time to take a college level class or just to sort of pursue another interest during their last year at Deering. Many 9th grade students end up starting in level 2 or even level 3 if they took the language in middle school. So you can just sort of rearrange that chart that you see on the screen there. But if a 9th grader starts at a level above level 2, they just end up moving even quicker through the program if they're interested in it. So I've taught students in the advanced placement in that AP class who are in 10th grade. We've had students switch around, so they start in Spanish or French and then maybe try Arabic or Mandarin later on. You can go to the next slide.
Sorry to interrupt. This might be a good time to answer 2 questions in the chat.
Sure.
About this specific thing that you're talking about.
Oh, thank you. I was not looking. Let me see.
I can read those to you if you'd like.
Let me open up the chat.
It's the Q&A.
Oh. How are 2 years of a foreign language the requirement? That's a great question. So actually, Maine doesn't have a requirement for world language yet. I think that might change at some point, but Deering currently also, so Deering follows that Maine guidelines. We're actually talking about making it more sort of encouraging all 9th graders to take a foreign language. But right now, I guess the short answer is no, it's not a requirement. However, colleges generally like to see at least 2 years. So we usually tell students that, like, if you're planning on applying to a 4-year or 2-year college after high school, that, yeah, there is that 2-year requirement just from the college perspective. Hope that answered that question. And was there another one? Oh, will all 9th grade students be able to choose if they want to do French or Spanish? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's a good question. So yeah, 9th graders, they sign up for their classes, I think, in 8th grade. So students have the opportunity to take any one of those 4 languages that you saw on the previous slide. So even if a student, for example, studied Spanish in middle school, but they wanted to switch to another language, they can do that in their 9th grade. And then finally, we empower students by encouraging the seal of biliteracy. So this is sort of new. I don't know if anyone's heard of this before. Super cool opportunity to basically show off your language skills. It certifies your proficiency in English and one other language that you've studied. It goes on a student's transcript. It's a chance to show potential employers, as well as universities, students' language skills. And we are excited about this because this year, for the first time, we're embedding this into all level 4 classes and above. So any student who takes a level 4 French or Spanish class will be exposed to the seal of biliteracy. It's a test. And so they'll actually take that as part of their curriculum at Deering and have the opportunity to gain that seal on their transcript. And were there any other questions before I hand it over to Art?
Nothing has been typed.
All right, cool. Thank you, everyone.
And we're actually going to just do a really quick switch. So if you could just jump over to the music slide. Thanks. I'm going to try to get over to the other meeting too. So you're going to hear a video quickly of our contemporary ensemble playing just a little bit of music at one of our lunchtime patio concerts, just to kind of show you a little bit about what our students do and how we like to give them performance opportunities, even in informal contexts, if it will load. The anticipation.
Yeah, I don't know how long it's going to take, so perhaps go ahead.
Keep going. So, hi everybody. I'm Dr. Christian Giddings, and I am the one music teacher here at Deering. And one of the exciting things that I like about this program is that one of my philosophies is that music is for everyone, truly, and that I have never encountered an individual that doesn't like music. It's just the kind of music. So what I can say is that we offer a variety of both classes and clubs for almost any musical interest. If it's writing and creating digital music in our Intro to Digital Music class, which is the only digital music class. You see the visual. You can pause it, Kyle. That's fine. You get the visual. So the idea is that for basically until it got too cold, we went out every Thursday during lunch and we played during our single lunch break for all of the other folks. So we had anywhere from, 10, 15 kids listening to one time there was about 50. So it's my belief that concerts don't necessarily have to happen at 7:30 at night on some Thursday in the wintertime. So students, that's an all student-led ensemble that I helped kind of facilitate. They're writing their own music and they're jamming their own stuff and they're putting it together. They still work. This is contemporary ensemble. They come during lunch all the time. I have people in and out of the music room. It's a welcoming environment where somebody will do one song on piano and somebody will do another song on guitar, and they invite new people to, as soon as they come in, and involve them. So I care about visibility and I care about variety amongst my classes and ensembles. So some of the stuff we offer at Deering are new classes that I designed, of them being the Intro to Digital Music class. It's the only class in Portland Public Schools that will teach you how to write and create electronic hip hop music, as well as the only dual enrollment, so college course in music in Portland Public Schools as well, music appreciation and history. So right now I have students taking it for college credit at USM. So whether you want to sing in the choir, join our band, play guitar, listen to music, learn how to play guitar, learn how to play piano, we have a spot for you here at Deering, and we even have several students that make up clubs based on their interests. Last year we had a K-pop club, and they just kind of got together and listened to K-pop music. So if you like music, I suggest you come here and we will find a spot for you. Maybe the video will load. If not, come to one of our patio lunches. Thank you guys so much. And off to Art now.
Okay, hi everybody. I'm Kat Carlisle. I'm one of the art teachers here at Deering. And I'm also very excited to tell you about our program, which I'm quite proud of. I've been a teacher at Deering for about 7 years. And one of my favorite things about our program is our space. We have this amazing space on the 4th floor. It's just art. We have 2 big rooms with 2 big, beautiful skylights, and it truly is an authentic studio space that students are just drawn to and love coming to throughout their day. The 4x4 schedule really works well for art. I think students really appreciate being able to come every day and continue their projects and continue their ideas without too much interruption. And that, 70-minute block is really crucial to get into the work and engage. And it's so much like a college course that, I think students can really find their way in the arts. So students would start with Art 1, Art 1 Foundations. It can satisfy the fine arts credit for graduation and is also the prerequisite for all the other art courses. Students work with a wide range of materials, drawing, painting, sculpture, and subject matter can include portraiture, still life, design, landscape, architecture. And students in any grade can take this course. And it's great to have a mixed level course of students from 9th grade to 12th. It helps to challenge students to be among, different levels. Any student of any skill level can succeed in this course. It's, open and welcome to everyone. We also offer an adaptive art course, which is somewhat new. It's offered through our special education department, and students work with different art materials similar to Art 1, but in a way that provides varying tactile and expressive experiences. Students engage in art processes in an exploratory way and discover new methods for mark making and sharing ideas, and it's a lot of fun. Can we go to the next slide? Okay, so applied art is one of our more sculpture-focused classes, and also a somewhat new course. It was started a few years ago, wanting to find a way to incorporate more folk art, more crafts from different parts of the world, and introduce students to the many purposes of art. A lot of students think that art is drawing and painting, and it's only seen in museums or galleries. And opening the door and, showing students that art can be about design and function and purpose, I think really helps students to find a way to feel the usefulness and power of art in everyday life. So we work with materials in metal. We've done metalsmithing. We've made paper cut lanterns. We've done embroidery, mask making, and more. We also have ceramics 1 and 2, which is all about clay. Again, it's more sculptural. Students only work in clay, but they learn all the different properties and processes and purposes of clay. So students make functional objects as well as sculptural objects. And if, students are into it and they've already taken ceramics 1, they can go on to ceramics 2 and learn more complex processes and glazing techniques, and also throw on the potter's wheel. Okay, can we go to the next slide? Okay, and then so we have studio art, which is focused on 2D processes and materials. Students work in a variety of themes, approaches, and styles. Assignment prompts help students focus on idea building and creative expression, and it's really interesting in that students have a more flexibility than they might in Art 1, where they get to decide what they want their art to be about. So it's more open-ended, a lot more about creative expression and kind of playing around with different materials. So we do a lot of mixed media, collage, painting techniques, combining different paints, acrylic, gouache, and watercolor, and more. And any student that's taken studio art could go on to take AP studio art. And this is our advanced placement. Students can receive college credit. It's similar to an introductory art class where students continue to work in 2D media, similar to studio art, including collage, fabric design, printmaking, drawing, illustration, painting. And students complete a portfolio of work. So they determine a theme, sustained investigation, as well as a body of artwork that demonstrates their mastery of 2D design principles. And it's quite an exceptional course. I think it's, and it's not just for students who want to go on to art school. I think that's a common misconception. It's for any student who's passionate about the arts, and want to, develop their ideas and their skills. I think that's it, unless there are any questions.
I'd like to thank our panelists, and we'd like to thank you guys for coming. If you have additional questions, you can feel free to head back to the original webinar link. You can see right there, there's an optional Q&A for the next half hour or so with the co-principals, Mr. Daly, and some of the coaches who were able to come. We're also happy to hang back if you had academic questions that didn't get asked before. We can hang back here for a little bit, but other than that, have a great evening, and we would love to have you at Deering. Take care.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back if you're just rejoining us. So during this part of our presentation, it's really just a time for your questions, and we do have a couple of our coaches here as well.
If anybody has a specific athletics question, Coach Hutchins is here from wrestling. Coach Rainey is here from indoor track, and we will have a few others joining us shortly, and also our club advisors from several of our student clubs.
Okay, Mr. Daly, you start us off with who coaches tennis?
Sure. Our boys tennis coach is Regina Morton. She's been with us for several years, and we're in the middle of hiring a new girls tennis coach. Actually, as we speak, I have a follow-up interview next week. Very exciting. And we have beautiful tennis courts right out the back door. We're very lucky. So the tennis team can just go right outside and practice after school. It's very convenient.
What computer science classes are offered? Ms. Labby happen to be back yet? So Ethan, we have Intro to Java as well as AP Computer Science. We also have Designing and Engineering and Design, which is in our makerspace and does offer an introduction to some programming. Dr. Ahmed, am I missing anything?
No, you said it.
We also have Photoshop for those who are more into the graphic design. It's also terrific PADS programming and graphic design. But yeah, AP Computer Science is probably one of our more popular computer science classes. We also have clubs around this, including Girls Who Code, which Ms. Scheibels runs. All right, Mr. Daly, who coaches softball?
Coach Aguirre, and she is here. Actually, she's joining us, so we can.
Okay, let me try Aguirre.
Yep, Ani Aguirre, she's here.
Hey there, how are you?
Good.
I'm Coach Aguirre and I coach softball, so I'm excited to have a question already.
Yes.
Ms. McBrady, anything more specific you'd like to know about softball? Do any of the coaches want to take on the question, what's the benefit of having the field so close to the school?
I will, if you don't mind.
Yes.
Hello, everyone. My name is Greg Stolfen, and I've been at Deering for close to 25 years, so I think I can answer that question. The good thing about it is that you're able to, once you're dismissed from school, you can walk up to Quality, you can get a quick bite to eat, and then you don't have to go out on the fields without having to get something to eat or worry about getting back in time for practice. There's enough transition from when school ends to get back into the locker room. And then when you go out, you're also able to work with your teachers after school and do some work with them. If you're doing some extended learning while you're trying to do some makeup, it's more manageable, because most of the time practice doesn't start right at the end of the school day. You've got a period of 30 to 45 minutes before you actually go out. And it's the max travel time to get to Memorial Field is a 5-minute walk. And that's if you're going really slowly. So you're able to engage in school longer, and you're able to get to your practices, and you're able to get off the fields earlier. I would say those are your best options.
Thanks, Coach Stolfen. That is the golf coach and longtime social studies teacher at Deering. Mr. Daly, how difficult is it to make the team?
That's a great question. So for most of our programs, we'll have a JV and a varsity team. Some teams will have what we call a first team. So there's 3 teams, such as boys soccer, basketball teams have 3 teams. So there's an opportunity to participate at all 3 levels. It depends on the number of students that try out. So for instance, for boys soccer, we have 3 teams. We have a lot of students who will try out. And generally speaking, there'll be an opportunity for everyone to participate in teams. And it's just a matter of the level. Varsity going to be a little more competitive and higher skilled, and interscholastic competition at a higher level. JV kind of that next level down, and the first team will be the next level down from there, which is a little more participation as opposed to focus more on competition at the varsity level. So, and it will depend on the program and the level of our program. Great question.
While we're waiting, I want to do a couple quick introductions. Dr. Giddings is here. He's our music teacher. And Mr. Chard is our drama director. Mr. Granny is a Deering alum and indoor track coach.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have 3 levels of teams for field hockey?
It's generally been 2 levels of teams. So field hockey is a co-op team, and that co-op is between Deering and Portland. And generally it's been JV and varsity, and pretty consistent good numbers on both teams. So there hasn't been a push to add that 3rd team yet. And that team, that's one of the co-ops that's hosted over at Fitzpatrick. They play on the turf over there, but sometimes they'll practice here at Memorial Field as well.
Thanks. Mr. Chard, how many drama productions are there each year?
So the Drama Club does 3 productions each year. We do a fall show. We just finished our fall production of Little Women, and 22 students were involved with that show. And then in March, we will do one-act play competitions where we have the opportunity to perform with and compete against other schools from all around the area, schools that are the size of our school. And in the spring, at the very end of the year, just before finals, we will be doing student-directed short plays. So we'll be doing a 10-minute play festival, which will be directed by students with guidance from me and my co-advisor, Mrs. Surway. So there are 3 opportunities, and you don't have to do all of them. So there are 3 different chunks of the year that you have a chance to be involved in drama. And you can be involved with 1 chunk, 2 chunks, or all 3 of them. And you can be in tech, or you can be up on stage.
Thanks so much. I was just in a classroom and a student came up to me and told me how she's already writing her play for the student written directed ones. Okay, Coach George has joined us. Coach, do you want to say what you coach?
Coach Aponte Clark. I'm the Nordic ski coach for the Deering High School as well as the Portland High School and Cheverus High School. So we have a co-op-like program. They do compete for their individual schools, but we train together under one coaching staff and travel together and prepare our skis together and have a lot of fun together. So we've had a wonderful program. It's grown tremendously over the last several years. We're up to almost 60 skiers from across those schools this season, and all we need is some snow.
Fair enough. All right, I have some more introductions to do, but we'll take a break for this question. How does preseason work?
Yeah, I think that might be good to throw to a coach. So a coach can give a little description of how their preseason works. Maybe Coach George, maybe, since you're in season.
Yeah, we have an interesting preseason because we're a ski program, so obviously our sport happens on snow, but if you look out the window right now, we don't have any. Maybe Saturday night, Sunday, fingers are crossed, we're doing our snow dances, as we say in the Nordic world. So we begin our season by doing a lot of conditioning work. So we spend time in the weight room, we do some running, we have these things called roller skis, which help the kids get out and practice ski form. Using the pavement and their ski gear, but instead of gliding skis, they use skis with wheels. We had a great yoga session the other day and play a lot of fun games as well. So we get out there and play soccer, we play ultimate frisbee, capture the flag. So mix it up. We got students that come from a variety of different backgrounds in terms of sport. So it's nice to kind of bring everybody together by doing some running, some soccer, some conditioning, and mixing in some traditional ski training such as roller skiing and hill bounding.
Thanks a lot. Pause to introduce Mr. Davenport, science teacher and esports coach.
Hello, everyone. Yes, different kind of sports, e-sport. E means electronic. We're talking about video games. We have several esports teams at Deering. We don't play on a field. We play at home on our computers or PlayStations. We play a variety of video games, including Rocket League, League of Legends, Madden, FIFA, Mario Kart, Smash Brothers, and Splatoon 2. Our Rocket League team won the main state championship last year, and we're playing in the finals tomorrow. They went on to get 8th place in the Nationals, which means they were the 8th best Rocket League team in the country. Big deal. Esports is a lot of fun. I hope if you come here, then you can play some video games with us.
And Ms. Sawyer is not a coach to my knowledge, but is a science teacher, advisory coordinator, and student government lead. So she's got plenty going on. Mr. Daly, do you have to have certain grades to play sports?
That's a great question, as we just had a December grade check for winter sports yesterday. Yes, you have to be passing 3 courses in order to be eligible and remain eligible to play high school sports, whether you're on first team, JV, or varsity. And that is the same rule for standard that needs to be met, whether a student attends Casco Bay, Portland, or Deering. It's a Portland Public Schools rule. And actually, our grade checks went fantastically well. So our winter sports student athletes are truly exceptional student athletes. We're very, very proud, very happy.
Students can also miss practice or games if they're too late to their classes. So one of my favorite things to see is teammates like getting their other teammates to class.
And just as a follow-up on that, since students usually take 4 classes, so they just need to be passing 3 of the 4. And then sometimes if you're a senior, you might take 3 classes, and so you still have to be passing the 3 to remain academically eligible, which is usually, for Deering students, they meet that standard very well. And just on the, I know there's a question about having your fields right out back. I think softball is a really good example of where we have a real advantage. Our field's right out back. So after school, the softball team, and traditionally had not always played their games here, but we have changed that with Coach Ani, and we're going to be playing our games here. So you can walk out back, practice softball, play softball, and to see the softball team playing, we'll have more fans, we'll have more participants. It's just a fantastic thing to walk out your back door and participate in your sport. So we're very lucky to have a college campus feel in the middle of the city here with our athletic facilities. So.
Yes, I've become an accidental fan because I was walking to my car and got sucked into watching a game. All right. Is it easy to balance playing sports and getting homework done? Well, I'll take a stab at that just to say, because students have only 4 classes each semester, the overall homework load students have reported is lower, even though they end up completing, 8 courses over the course of the year. And I would say, kind of like we just said, sports is a big motivator for students to stay on top of their classes because they do know that they need to do that. Would anyone like to add anything to that?
I mean, I can definitely add in if you like, just definitely from my own experience as a student athlete at Deering, and I was actually at Deering when we transitioned to the 4x4 schedule. And I definitely felt that helped over my last 2 years. So as Ms. Dame said, kind of working on the course load with just having 4 classes daily to be concerned with. But I just found I was more focused during season than when I was out of season. So I actually think not only it's not necessarily easy, it definitely takes work, it takes discipline and dedication, but having the focus of a sport there actually helped me improve that focus and dedication, which helped me in high school as well as in college doing the same thing. So I think it's a benefit.
Ms. Sawyer?
I was just going to add that having Learning Center twice a week also really helps balance sports and classwork. So you can take advantage of that time during your school day to get your homework done and get it started.
Yeah, thanks. So Learning Center is something we have twice a week, and teachers can book them if they need to work with a specific teacher, or they can stay with their advisor and have like a small directed study hall to make sure that they're getting caught up. Okay, next question is, are there teams by grade or are all 4 grades mixed in the teams? And this actually is similar to what someone asked, can 9th graders be on varsity teams?
Yeah, it's a great question. So for all our co-curriculars, so drama, debate, esports, all of our athletic programs, we have students from all grades participating on the team. When we have the 3 teams, there's a first team for basketball and soccer. You'll have sometimes more 9th graders and 10th graders on that team than the JV and the varsity. But in general, it's going to be a mix of students from all grades at Deering, and that's the best part of it, whether you're in drama, debate, esports, wrestling, what have you. So. As I always say, a freshman can score the winning goal too.
In debate specifically, my name's Krista. I'm the co-advisor for the debate team. And in debate, all of our grade levels meet together and they can kind of mentor and help each other with the different events. But depending on what level you are and how much experience you have, you'll be competing at different levels within debate. So, for example, we have a junior. He's in the junior varsity league of one particular event, whereas then we have different events and students are at different levels depending on the event and their individual skill level as well.
And I would add that one of the things that I have observed in drama over the last 2 years is that sophomores, juniors, and seniors are really excited when first-year students join drama. They're excited to teach the traditions of Deering drama, and they're excited to have them backstage and on stage with them, because that's how they help build their program and keep building up the quality of their program. And so freshmen in drama feel really supported by the older students in the program.
Yeah, it reminds me, last year I was encouraging some of our upperclassmen, real student leaders, to say, make sure you're getting our ninth graders involved. Are you being welcoming? And they looked at me like I had two heads because, as Mr. Chard was just saying, they're super motivated to keep their programs healthy, and they're already doing that. They said, Miss Dame, they're already here. Don't worry about it. Go ahead, Mr. Ponte Clark.
Yeah, I was just going to add, as a ninth grade advisor and teacher of ninth grade science, I have a lot of athletes in my classes, and they all seem super excited to be part of the Deering sports program. And it's such a great mix of students. I mean, they come from different levels and experiences, from very high performing athletes to people who are trying a sport for the first time. I have a student, she's playing hockey for the first time ever this year as a freshman in the program. And so there's just this sort of can-do, open sort of perspective about athletics at Deering that I really appreciate as a longtime coach, but a new teacher there. And to see that it really crosses all lines at Deering of participation. It's not just one group of students that are athletes. And at the same time, there's plenty of room to do other things as well. I have debaters in my class. I have actors in my class. I have musicians in my class. So it's just really fun to see that diversity goes through in terms of activities that everybody's involved in.
Thanks. So turning to advisory, what do students do in the advisory program, and do they have the same advisor every year? Do you want to take that, Dr. Ahmed?
Yes. Thank you for asking this question. Actually, the advisory is a program which is basically guided with the outcomes of empowering students to set their goals. These goals can be academic, social, or behavioral. Also, students are supported to monitor their progress at the school, and also they're supported to acquire the ability to identify and understand their feelings and build a relationship with adults and build a community at the school. So the meetings for the advisory, we have 2 times a week, 45 minutes. And students actually are, what we are doing, that we are involving students to be co-creators and co-facilitators of the program. We are looking to more leadership of our students to be part of the process as well as the delivery. So it is intended for all to be fun and relationship building, and the students to have someone that they can relate to or they can talk to in the school.
And just on do they have the same advisor every year? They start with their 9th grade advisor, and then they build a relationship with a current 12th grade advisor, who then becomes their advisor for 10, 11, 12. And that's just because our 9th grade teachers and advisors work so closely on the 9th grade experience.
And Ms. Sawyer coordinates the program for our teachers, and it's on the screen as well. So if you want to add something.
That's a great question, and I can definitely answer that one. I can say there are two kind of big ways that this is supported that I've found here, because I'm rather new here. This is only my second year, but I've taught, this is my 9th year of teaching, and I've taught in 3 different states. And I can confidently say that I have not had a set of admin from the guidance level to the athletic director level to the principal's level that are as dedicated to making sure that all Deering folk students, if it's a student-led experience or something that benefits students, they make it work for them. I have had no roadblocks in this process so far. So what that looks like in the scheduling thing is that I work with guidance, and that if I have students that want to take choir, but they can't because they're a senior and they don't want to have it take up a full elective class, we have an alternative space for them to meet during either a learning center time, or I have kids that do the clubs. I have them come before school and then after school, and also during learning center, and also during lunches every day. So there, we find the pockets in the day, for me, from a scheduling perspective, to make sure that they can do all of the things. And there's no competition with one another. So I haven't had any problems so far with like booking a student for learning center, and a teacher will say, hey, I need them for a test. Can I have that? There's a lot of open communication among the teachers in that. So I think when the whole school is presenting a unified front that the student experience is first, you don't get this issue with overlapping activities and you're trying to pull from one to do the other. Like everybody is saying no. I tell some of my musicians, like, hey, you need to be passing your classes. Like, I want you to also be good at science and also do music too. And I trust that my colleagues on the other side are going, oh yeah, like you should go play your guitar now because your math is done. So I think that general supporting environment, but we'll find a spot for them in all sorts of alternative spaces in the schedule. Also, the 4x4 helps support it too, because they can take more electives than they normally would.
Thanks, Dr. Giddings. And just because our attendees can't see the questions, he was addressing the issue of what if you're into music, but you're also into sports, and how do you make room for all of these things? And certainly our single lunch where all students can come together for a club, and our learning center provide those that flexibility.
Yeah, as an example of that balance, we have a student, Emmanuel Saili, I think I got it right this time, who came from South Africa last year to our school and decided to play American football after only having played soccer before and rugby. Learned how to play football. He's on our football team. Is a musician with Dr. Giddings, I think, in ensemble. And then joined the band as well. And he's also a National Honor Society student. And he's just one of those amazing stories that we have here at Deering. And there's a lot of them, but that just makes you happy every time we see that kid walk in the hall. So I saw him earlier today.
He's in my college music history class too. So he's taking a college level history class as well as and if you were listening to the video from the previous one, he was the one playing drums on that video in the music slide. That was him.
All right. Can students leave campus at lunch? Yes. I believe all 3 high schools in Portland are open campus high schools, which means that, yes, students can leave campus at lunch. Many of them choose to stay in our CAF and are welcomed in our teachers' rooms as well, but some prefer to leave. All right, as the questions are slowing down, we'll still stick around to answer questions, but if you are peeling away, we want to say thank you so much for coming out. As I hope you can tell, we love Deering, and we love the chance to talk about what we love about Deering. Apologies, Ms. Simonis. I was so focused on your role as Zoom MC, lost sight of your role as debate co-coach.
It's all right. We have a lot of things that we're all doing.
Yeah, a lot of students and teachers wearing multiple hats.
Well, and I think that's what's nice about, having the long lunch and having Learning Center is, especially students who maybe work after school or are doing other things on the weekend, they can still be part of these activities because they're meeting during the day. And so it ends up being more inclusive because we have our debate meetings at lunch.
Nice work, everybody. It's hard to communicate the whole 3D reality of our school and our school community through Zoom. But I do think you gave off the energy, and thanks for sharing part of your evening. And we're going to see you like before you know it. Morning.
Yes, thanks very much, everyone.
Good night.
Thanks. Have a great night, everyone.
Good luck to esports.
All right, go Rams.
Good job, Allison.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you. Yeah, as you say, see you very soon.
Annette, thanks for having me in here.
Welcome. Good job, everybody.
Thank you,
They had a Ben.
I will.
Thank you, Mr. Onus.
I'll get the recording out to you guys. I'll have Henry clean it up a little and then I'll share it back with you.
Oh, that's awesome. Thanks for doing it.
Thank you.
Okay, really appreciate it, Nanette. Have a good night.
You too. Bye.